Happy Thanksgiving, foodies and friends. Shisha Honeypot here. I wanted to give a thanks to Mr. Business. He was an awesome sous chef. He helped me just get things prepared, helped me stay organized, and dealt with all my crazy throughout the day of Thanksgiving. So just wanted to give him a big thanks right there. So first thing up is the turkey. Most people, when it comes to making the turkey is cooked whole, and that can take anywhere between 3 to 4 hours. And obviously, the bigger turkey you have, the longer it's going to take. I found a much easier way this year to do the turkey, so I chose to do that. So pretty much you cut the turkey up, you put it on 2 large sheet pans, and you cook it in the oven, and that cuts down the cooking time because everything is divided up and it's on 2 different sheet pans, and it just shortens your time all the way around. So you can 100% do everything else you do to your turkey normally. So if you brine it, whether you do a wet brine or a dry brine, if you marinate it, if you do a glaze for it, everything else remains the same, but by cutting it up, it really just shortens the cooking time. So once this is all done, you would put it in the oven after you have it on the 2 baking sheets. For 30 minutes, you'd have it at 425. That's going to kind of get everything really hot and kind of crisp up that skin. And then once that's gone for about 30 minutes, you're going to take the temperature down in the oven to 400 and let that cook for another 30 minutes or so. You're obviously going to take your meat thermometer and check it. And as the pieces get to the optimum temperature, then you may end up just taking everything off or taking certain pieces of the turkey off depending on how quickly it comes to temp internally. So just make sure you check that. And like I said, the bigger turkey you have, you may have to cook it longer. Another tip that I have is make sure you take your turkey out of the refrigerator so it can come to room temperature. The mistake I made this year is that when I was finally ready to do the turkey after everything else was done, it was not at room temperature, so it took our turkey a bit longer than planned to get done. So definitely make sure you do that. Whether you cut up your turkey or you are cooking it whole, take your turkey out of the fridge so it can be room temperature. If you don't, it'll cook. But you're going to be waiting around. And so my mother-in-law had to wait a lot longer to get her turkey. So the other thing that I do with my turkey is I brine it. So I do a wet brine. Some people like a dry brine. Brining in general really helps to keep your turkey moist. To me, the worst type of turkey is a turkey that is dry. I love having the turkey when it's brined. A good test to show that it was brined well is if it's moist the next day, and I'm talking like you take a bite of it after it's been in the fridge and you're in between warming it up again, and it is still moist. And then after you warm it up, whether you put it in the microwave or you throw it in the oven to get it going again, it's moist all the way through. So I do a wet brine. With my brine, I will make it the day before I have to brine it. So if I'm making the turkey on Thursday, obviously I'm going to brine it all of Wednesday. So Tuesday night, what I'll do is I will get a stock pot. Most brines, you're always going to have water, sugar, salt, and then there's other items that you can change out, herbs, apples or oranges or whatnot, but you get all that in a pot. You're going to get it to a boil. By the time it hits a boil, it will have dissolved all the sugar or salt, and then it has to completely cool down. The last thing you want to do is put this brine on a turkey when the wet brine has not cooled down. So that's why I do it on that Tuesday night. That way it has all those hours to cool completely. And then you can either put the turkey in either a food safe brining bag or a food safe container. I use a container this year. Turkey goes in that, and then you take your completely cool brine, pour it all in there, seal it, and put it in the fridge and let it go for 24 hours until you're ready to cook it. And as I said before, when you're ready to make this turkey, make sure you pull it from the fridge and let it come to room temperature first. If you don't, your turkey will cook, but it will take a while for it to really heat all the way through because internally it is still cold. Also, make sure whatever surface you use to clean, to cook your turkey, whatever surface you use to put your turkey together on, when you're cutting it up, make sure you wipe it down and clean it very thoroughly before you do anything else. You want to make sure all those areas, whether it's the sink, whether it's the countertop, cutting board, is clean, because last thing you want to do is you want to get anyone sick. Also recommend, if you're going to do this on a cutting board, get a big cutting board for the turkey. If you noticed, Mr. Business had to kind of grip the turkey in different places, and our cutting board could have been a little bit bigger. So those are the tips for the turkey. For the veggies, I wanted to make a quick note here. We had green beans, Brussels sprouts, and also cauliflower. So there was so much cauliflower and so much Brussels sprouts, I actually chose to kind of pare down. So we didn't end up making the cauliflower, but we definitely used it for lunches and other items. Even with the Brussels sprouts, we had so much, we had to use only about like 3/4 of what we ended up cutting up. So just wanted to share that quick moment. Don't be like me. Try to find the perfect amount for your group of people that you are cooking for. Next up is the cranberry sauce. I did a different cranberry sauce this year. Truth be told, I'm not really a huge fan of cranberry sauce, probably just because of all those years of having cranberry sauce in a can, but Mr. Business loves it. So the cranberry sauce this year had apples and cranberries in it, cinnamon, a little bit of ginger, salt and pepper, and also some orange juice and orange zest. So it's interesting because obviously I tasted, I didn't like eat it with the meal, but I tasted it as it went, and it does have a unique taste, but it is definitely good. The cranberry sauce is Mr. Business's favorite thing, so there ended up being a lot of leftovers of this, and he will actually put it on, bread, biscuit, anything, because he really enjoys it that much. But like I said, it's a mix between cranberry sauce and applesauce, and having those two flavors together might sound really weird, but it tastes really good. So pretty much once everything is together, comes to a boil, and you see and hear the cranberries popping, let it cook some more. You'll be able to tell as it goes, as you watch it. And then once it gets the right consistency that you want, you take it off the stove, put it in a container, let it cool down a bit, and then you can go ahead and put it in the fridge. And this is definitely something that you can cook ahead. You don't have to wait until the day of Thanksgiving to do. So when it comes to drinks, I found a really simple cocktail to make. So you take your favorite champagne with apple cider, and it's about 3 cups apple cider and a cup and a half of the champagne. And that serves, I think, about maybe 4 to 5 people. I think more so 4. And I think I quadrupled it a few times. just to have enough. And I definitely say you can make way more of that. It was really good because the champagne is kind of bitter and the apple cider is sweet. It's a really good balance between the two. So pretty easy Thanksgiving cocktail if you want to do that. You can also add apple slices as a garnish, and then I'd even say you could probably put some nutmeg or some other herbs like cinnamon or whatnot in there to kind of just spice it up a little bit. I think it tasted really good overall, but I think that'd probably be the only thing I would change if I was to make it again. Now on to the desserts. This year I did pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and I actually got a Dutch apple pie from a local fundraiser from a school. So that actually was frozen. It was homemade, just not homemade by me, and it turned out really good. We actually got two, so we ate the first one, and then I was like, we should totally save this for Thanksgiving. So that one was really good. So when it comes to pecan pie, you definitely want to make sure that you put a tint over the pie when it's in the oven. So that's going to prevent, the crust from burning, getting too brown. It's going to kind of keep the right color that you want. It can be uncovered for a little bit. Well, you want to make sure that probably likely halfway through the cooking time, or even if you want, you can do it all the way through to put a tint over it. So I did that, and it turned out really well. Another couple of things is the recipe called for 2.5 cups of pecans, and I ended up using a little bit more. When I put it in the pie and I looked at it, I remember that last year when Mr. Business made it, he actually used a little bit extra. So I was like, oh, I have some more, gonna put those in there. So it definitely looked better once I added extra from what the recipe said. The other thing too is that I noticed that I had just almost enough of the dark corn syrup, but I went ahead and added some regular pancake syrup. I wouldn't recommend putting maple syrup in there because the flavor is definitely different and you're going to notice it being in there. But yeah, if you run out of your dark corn syrup and you just need just a little bit extra, I would recommend using some regular pancake syrup, and it's not going to impact the flavor or anything. You're not even going to notice, and it got me by. Obviously, next time when I make pecan pie, I will make sure to have some more dark corn syrup on hand, but I had just finished the bottle and just needed a little bit extra, and once I added the pancake syrup, that was all I needed, and it was good. I do always seem to add extra cinnamon to anything that I make. I don't know, I just really love how cinnamon tastes, so that probably was one addition that's a little bit extra. But again, cinnamon never hurts anything. It just makes everything taste better. And it's kind of like my addiction to sesame oil. You can never do wrong with having extra cinnamon in anything. Cinnamon's just so good, the only way it'd be bad is if you actually ate raw cinnamon without anything else. But when you're putting cinnamon in stuff, 9 out of 10, it just makes it 1,000 times better. So I always add a little extra. Pumpkin pie is my favorite pie. I enjoy cooking the pumpkin pie, and then once it's cooled down, I like it in the fridge. I like it to be cold when I eat it. I know that's weird, but that's just, ever since I was a kid, I've always liked cold pumpkin pie. So the couple of additions that I add here is, last year, I think I made pumpkin pie. It was after Thanksgiving, before Christmas, and I was like, you know what, I just want to do something different. So I actually added a little bit of butterscotch pudding filling. I know that sounds crazy. I know there's some people out there who are like, don't use, pudding filling, packets for things, but I'm telling you, it makes your cookies better, and I like the way it tastes in pumpkin pie. So I just added a little bit of that. I also did 2 teaspoons of lemon extract, and then I also did the zest of 2 lemons. And I'm telling you, this tastes so good. You should try it. It is delicious. If you have made it this far, you are almost at the end of the video. Thank you so much for sticking around. I will make sure to post some more information in the description box just about some tips, other things I think you should know about my video that I posted. I will be continuing to post content. Things kind of got slowed down from the holiday, as well as just work and getting busy. I'm still going to be going through Robin Huss Cook Korean. It is a great book, and I want to continue with that series. You are more than welcome to subscribe and follow me on Instagram, and also subscribe on YouTube. If you want to kind of see the things that are going on between when I'm posting food videos, you're more than welcome to follow me on Instagram to see that. I hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving. I could not finish this video without saying that there are a lot of people out there who have lost during this time. And in the holidays, it can be a really hard time if you're grieving and you're struggling from missing a loved one that isn't there. So I just want to say, if that is you, please be kind to yourself, give yourself room, and make space so that you can get through. If you are supporting someone who is grieving or dealing with loss during this time of year, be supportive to them, be kind to them, and just be there. I am so appreciative of everyone who is watching and taking the time to watch my channel. I hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving. I look forward to making more content. Thinking ahead to Christmas, I will probably do a video. Don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I feel pretty confident that we're not going to do a traditional dinner this year. So when that gets together, I will definitely make sure to post it. Thank you guys, and I will see you next time, foodies and friends.